I call the honourable member Scott Simpson.
Well, Simon O'Connor, up to you.
So, I'm sorry, Simon.
I move that the question be now put.
No, I'm going to call the honourable member Chris Hipkins.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, and I'm very appreciative of this, of my first call, in fact, of what I suspect will be many on the Customs Excise Budget Measures Motor Spirits Amendment Bill. I suspect I've got a few other names for that we're going to talk about in a moment. I'm aware that we're talking about Part 2, Mr. Mallard. Just hold your horses. We'll get to that. So we're talking about Part 2 at the moment, the refund provision that exists within this legislation, otherwise known as, once again, the National Party looking after its mates, looking after the people who can get the refund, while other people, the regular hard-working New Zealanders who pay the extra fuel tax, who were promised that life would get better under National, that they would pay less tax under National, they don't have the access, probably, to the provisions in this particular part. They're going to end up paying the extra tax, and they're going to feel disappointed and let down, because Maurice Williamson, the National Party's then transport spokesperson, went around the country before the 2008 general election telling New Zealanders that if the National Party did a good job, they wouldn't need to put fuel taxes up. The levies wouldn't need to go up. Maurice Williamson was busy saying that to New Zealanders before the 2008 general election. How many times has this levy gone up since National came into government? That means that Jerry Brownlee's been a spectacular failure as a minister, just like Stephen Joyce was before him. And it just shows who the National Party are interested in looking after. They're not interested in looking after the ordinary hard-working New Zealanders who are going to have, what is it, $45 a week, $45 a year extra in year one on their motoring bill, $90 in year two, $135 in year three, plus all the that's right, it's compounding. So these costs will continue to go up for ordinary everyday families who are already struggling to meet rising costs under this national government, because despite promising New Zealanders that the tax burden on them was going to decrease, in fact, for ordinary everyday working New Zealanders, they are saying that the tax burden on them has gone up under National. Increased GST, increased fuel tax, and many other increases that they're facing. Increased student loan repayments if they've got a student loan. So many other costs and expenses that have gone up for ordinary everyday Kiwis under this national government, and they won't benefit from the refunds that are available in this particular part of the bill that we're debating before Parliament. Part 2 of the debate, the consequential amendments that we're talking about. Mr. Speaker, this is yet again another bill that's going through all stages of Parliament under urgency, I suspect, given our previous experience of the earlier bills that we've been debating under this urgency motion, there'll be some future amendment to it when they realise that they've completely stuffed it up. There's probably a drafting error or some other mistake in it, because there's been a mistake in just about every other bill that the House has been debating under this urgency motion. And I think New Zealanders are going to want to know why they're paying this extra fuel tax and why they're not getting any the ability to access refunds that are in the Part 2 of this. Looking at what this extra money is going to be funding, the roads of significance to National that these levies are going to be going towards. And in fact, I think New Zealanders, I know, for example, the Kapiti Expressway, that there is huge debate about exactly whether or not that's good value for money. Many people don't think it is, and in fact, a huge group of residents on the Kapiti Coast think that it's going to split the community in half by driving a massive four-lane highway between Coastlands, the main shopping area of Paraparaumu, and the beach and the shopping area. It's basically going to drive a massive four-lane highway between those parts of the community on what was always designed to be a local road. It's been on the books for many, many years, and the community expectation in Kapiti is that it was always that road, the Kapiti Expressway, was going to be a two-lane local road. And yes, there would be upgrades to State Highway 1, but they weren't expecting that the government would go and co-opt what was going to be a local road and whack a massive four-lane highway right through the heart of that community, which is what this government are proposing to do. And of course, the road won't be designed to benefit local motorists, because there'll be very few on-ramps and off-ramps off it. It is designed basically to move traffic through that area without having to stop, without the trucks having to slow down. It's not designed in any way with the local residents of the Kapiti Coast in mind. And that is the sort of project that all New Zealand motorists are now going to be paying more for. And I think that there's some real questions the government have got to answer, but of course we're not hearing anything from the government. All those national backbenchers over there have absolutely nothing to say on this. When they were in opposition, the national backbench had a lot to say about transport, but now they've got nothing to say.
Call the honourable member Cam Calder.
I move that the question be now put.
No, I'm going to hear from Sue Moroney. Call the honourable member.
Thank you, Mr Chair. It's a pleasure to take a call on part two, because this is where we find out who gets away with it. Who doesn't have to pay